For 200 years, the United States and Canada ran the most peaceful trading relationship on the planet. No wars over resources, no currency crises, just billions of dollars crossing the border every single day like it was nothing. That relationship is now falling apart in real time, and most Americans have no idea how much it's about to cost them. Here's what happened. Trade talks between Washington and Ottawa collapsed at the end of last week. Within days, the United States imposed a 50% tariff on tens of billions of dollars worth of Canadian goods. Not steel and lumber this time. Dairy products, building materials, furniture, electronics, clothing, machinery. Over a dozen industries hit at once, using a law that hasn't been used at this scale in almost 100 years. Here's the part most people get wrong about tariffs. A tariff is not a fee that Canada pays. It's a tax that American importers pay the moment that product crosses the border. Every dollar of that 50% gets added to the cost of doing business. And when a business eats a cost that large, it does not absorb it quietly. It passes it straight to the customer standing at the checkout counter. That's tension point one. But it gets worse. Ontario's premier, the man leading the political fight on the Canadian side, didn't just trade insults with the White House. He put a specific threat on the table. Cut off electricity exports to the United States. Several northern states buy Canadian power to keep their grids stable, especially during peak demand. That is not an abstract trade dispute anymore. That is a threat that touches your actual power bill in your actual house during the months you need heating the most. And Canada isn't just absorbing the hit. Starting in September, Ottawa rolls out its own retaliatory tariffs, targeting American steel, dairy, farm equipment, and paper products. So now you have two economies raising prices on each other at the same time, on both sides of the same border, on products regular families buy every week. Economists are already putting numbers on this. Canadian growth could shrink by 0.5 percentage point over the next year if this drags on. On the American side, categories like wine, cheese, lumber, and even hockey equipment are expected to get noticeably more expensive because unlike clothing or electronics, you can't just swap the supplier overnight. This is the part nobody tells you about trade wars. They don't start with a headline about tariffs. They end with a receipt in your hand that's bigger than it used to be, and you won't even know why. The people who understand how tariffs actually move through an economy see this coming months before it hits their wallet. Everyone else just gets the bill. That's the real lesson here. Power doesn't announce itself. It shows up quietly, in the fine print of a trade proclamation, long before it shows up on a price tag. If you want to understand how money and power actually move before the headlines catch up, that's exactly what this channel is built for.